In what situation would everybody be kung fu fighting? I like to imagine it was some kind of dancing plague situation. Like, oh my god, bro, can you stop? Nah, dude, I can't stop kung fu fighting.
Welcome to Mary Lou's. What can I get for you?
Hi, can I have a medium iced caramel Lou with almond milk? Thank you very much. You too. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh! I'm on my way to the mall. I've been doing these unboxing videos of, like, mystery blind box minifigures. And so I'm gonna go to Newbury Comics and get some more of those. I think it's so weird when someone has multiple daughters and people will say shit like, oh, that's too bad. Are you gonna try for a boy? Why are you, like, projecting disappointment about having daughters onto me? Like, excuse the fuck out of you. Maybe I love having daughters. Why are you assuming that I don't? Don't put your weird sexism on me and my beautiful children. I don't have children of my own, but I have seen this scenario happen, and it's very weird to me. People's sexism about the sex of their baby is so ingrained in them, it doesn't occur to them that other people might love having daughters. Especially when they say it to other men, like, oh, I'm sure you're disappointed, I bet you wanted a son to throw around the football with. Like, not every dude is the throw around the football kind of guy. Dudes out here who are so stoked to be girl dads and people are trying to put them down, like, fuck you. Just because you experience, like, gender disappointment doesn't mean everybody else does. Unpack that in therapy. I just remembered this morning that Starbucks had an olive oil drink. It had a specific name. And they were like, oh, it's an Italian thing. And the Italians were like, I don't know about that one, chief. Hi, editor's note. So I Googled this because I couldn't remember the name of the coffee, but also I wanted to confirm that it wasn't an Italian thing. I found that I guess a CEO came up with the idea after he allegedly visited Italy and saw people drinking olive oil, to which there were Italians in the comment section being like, we don't drink olive oil. And I love the idea of Italians being like, look at that jackass. Let's gaslight him into believing that we drink olive oil. Anyways, I thought that was funny. And if you drank one that was too large, you shit yourself? What was that all about? Who was cooking that one up in the Starbucks think tank? Olive oil drink. I love olive oil. I don't want to drink it though. I will say, when we worked at Whole Foods, when I worked at Whole Foods, I don't know why I just used the royal we. When me and my other personalities worked at Whole Foods, we did have something called Bulletproof coffee. And Bulletproof was a specific brand, and I cannot remember what the exact product is. I will Google it and put it up here. But you made a coffee with this little packet of, like, oil or whatever this is, and then you also put a slab of butter in it. And I swear to God, that sounds insane. Put a slab of butter in a hot black cup of coffee. It's really fucking good. Obviously, you cannot do that with cold coffee because the butter will coagulate. But the hot coffee with the slab of butter, I kind of turned my nose up at it, and everybody was like, no, it's good. And I tried it, and I was like, oh. This Chrysler in front of me literally could not be going any slower. Just kidding, they're literally going the speed limit. I told this story on TikTok, and it currently has 500,000 views, so I'll tell it here too. Several years ago, I posted on Tumblr, hey, give me drawing prompts, I'll draw literally anything. And this dude slid into my DMs, I assume a man, but I don't truly know, but I'm gonna assume it's a man. Dude slid into my DMs and was like, you should draw All Might from My Hero Academia in Aladdin's costume. Editor's note, the person specified that, like, Prince Ali Aladdin costume, and not the regular, I think they call him, like, the street urchin costume. I don't know, it's been like 1,000 years since I've seen Aladdin, but they specified that one and not the typical Aladdin outfit with the little vest and the little hat. So, and he should be, like, tied up like he was kidnapped by an enemy. And I was like, all right. So immediately I caught on to the weird vibes I was like, that's incredibly specific, but I'll do it. And I think deep down in like the very recesses of my mind, I was like, this is fetish content. But for some reason, I drew it anyways, and I posted it, and the guy was like, I love it, but I don't think he's scared enough. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is for sure fetish content, and I didn't respond or draw it again after that. This is the art, so I'm gonna put it up. Warning, because it's not overtly sexual, but it's clearly fetish art. And looking back, he was right. He isn't scared enough. But I posted this on TikTok because I was like, how do people with extremely specific kinks and fetishes land on that combination of things? Like, okay, you're attracted to All Might, sure. Okay, you have a thing for the Aladdin costume, random, but okay. Maybe you have a thing for being tied up and or kidnapped, sure. All together is very interesting. There's like 1,000 comments on that video right now that's people explaining how you get fetishes, which I know how that kind of thing develops, but like, I'm talking about really specific things. Or other people who got very, very specific requests. There's a handful of people who got requests for Danganronpa characters in the exact same situation. Several other people got that exact request with All Might. Others got male Total Drama Island characters and other miscellaneous My Hero Academia characters. Like 5 different people commented that someone wanted them to draw Sailor Venus covered in mud, and this person was going to pay them money, but he also was like specifically commissioning minors. Editor's note: I felt like I should say that I do not mean to judge anybody's interests in that way at all. As long as it's safe, sane, and consensual, I don't care. I don't care what you do, I don't care what you're into. Not my business, not my prerogative. I will say, though, 2 things I don't like that pertain to this topic are, I made a TikTok that sums it up perfectly, so I'll just insert that here. Good morning to everyone except for those sick freaks who try to get you to play into their fetish while you aren't aware of it. Like, they'll ask you seemingly innocent questions, but they're trying to get you to participate in their fetish. Like when you're trying to sell a pair of boots and you get a message like, oh, can you like add photos to the listing of you wearing the boots and stepping on stuff? I just want to like see the integrity of the boots. No, you don't. You're not slick. I know what you're doing. You are a pervert! And also, stuff that involves minors. That's not cool. Don't do that. Which someone commented, and they were like, how old were you when you got this request? Because it'd be really weird if you wanted a minor to draw it. And I replied, and I was like, I believe I was 20, but also this dude had no idea how old I was, so there is that. I never considered that. There was a handful of comments where people said they were getting requests or commissions to draw Princess Bubblegum and Marceline from Adventure Time in pig costumes with little pig snouts, which, alright, very specific. And there was a handful of comments that explained it best, and I agree with it, where they said, I think people develop like their fetishes separately and then see if they like them all together, and then they do. Perhaps that dude realized he was attracted to Marceline and Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time, and separately he was like, oh, I love pig costumes and pig noses, and then was like, but what if together? The human mind is an enigma, and so is unrestricted internet access. God, if you're ever in Eastern Massachusetts or Rhode Island, I think, please hit up a Mary Lou's. They're so good. If you like a funny little iced coffee, this shit's crazy. I have always gotten either a Twix or a Caramel Lou, which are pretty similar in taste, but they are different. I just burped. I don't know why I always have to announce when I burp. I do that in real life too, not just in videos. I've come to realize that I don't think people can tell how old I am I always get sadism and masochism confused. I see those TikToks where people are like, how old do you think I am? And it's like, why would you do that? I thought we had established that everyone on TikTok and on the internet as a whole has like completely lost the ability to tell how old people are. Because you know, no matter how you look, everybody's gonna say that you look like you're in your 40s. I'm not gonna ask people how old they think I am, even though I'm curious, because I have self-respect. Hello, man standing in the street. I did get a comment the other day where someone was like, oh, these people who definitely weren't on the internet before 2021. And I replied and I was like, I love that you think that I'm young enough to have not been on the internet in 2021. I could legally drink in 2021. Across from the Cape Cod Mall is this other plaza. It's not another mall, but it's like an outdoor strip mall type of thing where it's just like a bunch of businesses all in one building. I mean, you know what a strip mall is. I don't know why I just explained. But they're redoing it. It used to be really shitty, and someone bought it and they're like redeveloping the whole thing. They redid the outside of the building. They renamed the place because it was called Cape Town, which, okay, I get it, we're on Cape Cod, but everybody thinks Cape Town, Africa. Nobody thinks random shopping plaza on Cape Cod. All right, I am going in. I'm in. See you in a bit. Oh, mission complete. I have to pee. My favorite thing about old people is when they drive cool old cars because they like don't go anywhere. They just go to bingo, so it's fine. When I pulled into this spot, some old dude was getting into his convertible Alfa Romeo. Like, that's so sick. I hate the wind so much. When the wind blows, it enrages me. Imagine working at the makeup counter or the perfume counter in a Macy's. I bet the shifts are like 4 or 6 hours and you work like 3 days a week. What? Oh yeah, you should have gone, you fucking fool. So I passed through the Macy's and there's never anybody in there. Me, my little brother, and my boyfriend went there right before Christmas because my little brother had to return something, and we all decided to go. And I was like, oh, I bet it's gonna be crazy in there. It was like a Friday or Saturday night right before Christmas. Christmas was on a Wednesday this year, and so it was the Friday or Saturday before Christmas. And I like braced myself. I was like, oh, it's gonna be so crazy. No one, nothing. I've never seen more than like 2 other human beings in there. I bet those old ladies that work at the counter have crazy tea. I heard Deborah killed her husband. They wouldn't even say it outright like that though. They'd be way more discreet, you know, to protect Deborah. They'd be like, Deborah caught her husband behaving inappropriately towards the niece. So Deborah handled it as one does. They said he had a cardiac event. And you're like, oh, Deborah, okay. One thing about old people is they will literally admit crimes to you. I don't remember if it was a TikTok or a stand-up comedian, or I saw something that was like, if you hang out with an old person for like more than a day, they'll just start telling you about the murders they committed, and you're like, oh, okay. Man, I cannot see. I fucking hate rotaries. The position on this rotary I have to be in to go to the correct thing. I had to be on the outside of that 2-lane situation to be in the right spot to get on the rotary. And every single time without fail, there's always some big ass SUV that blocks my fucking vision, so I can't tell if I can go or not, because I drive a little fuck ass sedan. I wouldn't change that for the world though. I'm not an SUV person, I'm not a truck person. I love shitty little shitbox fucking sedans. I drive a goddamn Saturn. It has crank windows. Do you kids even know what crank windows are? No. Kids these days. Man, like 5 minutes ago, I was asking y'all why people think I'm old, and now I'm literally, man, shakes fist at cloud. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Oh, I just burped. Speaking of being old, my mom was a teenager in the 80s and a young adult in the 90s, and she was telling me like, oh, it's gonna be so weird. Someday, kids are gonna be like, oh, this thing was so cool, and it's gonna be a thing that was cool when you were a teenager. And I was like, Mom, that already happens. The kids are romanticizing the Tumblr soft grunge 2014 situation. Like, bitch, I was there. The kids are romanticizing 2015, 2016 makeup YouTube. Bitch, I was there in my dark purple matte lipstick that looked fucking awful on me. Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch, for I was there when it was written. Thank you, Lion Jesus, Liam Neeson Lion. Man, what the hell happened to Fetty Wap? Man just like showed up out of nowhere and was like, 1738, hey, and then disappeared. Bro left as swiftly as he arrived. Do we know the lore on what the fuck 1738 means? I suppose I could just Google it. 1738. Hey. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello. Headwater Street. She giving me head until I water. Street. Classic BMW move. Just sitting at the green light. Every time. Now I got a gold Honda Accord on my ass. Because the BMW is going negative miles per hour. I'm not gonna trifle with somebody driving a gold Honda Accord. I went and saw a gold PT Cruiser convertible. I didn't realize a vehicle so foul existed. You fucking freak! Congratulations, you are cringe. When I get home, I'm gonna pee, and it's gonna feel so good. I'm gonna pee, and it's gonna feel so good. Meadowbrook Road. Yoshi Meadow on my brook until I rode. Alright, the pee is coming. I need to pee. The pee is coming.